Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, David White.
And welcome to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. And as always, the appointed sacred time from the free state of Florida.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have going on today? That is certainly looking at a market that's a little bit up, a little bit down. I'm not surprised to see us kind of pulling back a little bit. Generally, you can look for, at least on today's standards, something like a 50 or a 75-point move down in the S&Ps before fund buying. They have the ability, even in an up market, to shake out a lot of folks just before fund buying comes in. Sometimes I think that they're just trying to get shorts in that they can just squeeze over the next few days into fund buying, but it's not uncommon. Now, maybe we get some just really horrible news tonight. We've had a lot of movement in the dollar this week. The bonds have started to come back a bit. We've seen faith rocked to its core in stocks like Meta, which I always call Metamucil. And I say it has IBS. If you live in Lutz, that's irritable bowel syndrome. And, of course, let's get the current state of the damage. $99.39 off 23.4%. So that's going to leave a mark. Probably not going to buff out. A little bit more than a garbage cart kind of bumping into your car. More than a little bit of a door ding out there for Meta. But I had some people ask me if they ever thought that, or that I thought that he was going to leave. He's made a lot of preparations, selling his houses, trying to get out of California, buying up an island that, according to him, is going to be underwater. So I'm not exactly sure if he actually believes it or not. But buying up the most part of the little bit of a Hawaiian island that he can. Strange how so many people that tell us all these islands are going underwater are buying them. I guess it's just their good intentions. They don't want us doing anything like buying a silly island that's going to be underwater in 2 years or 3 years or whatever. Anyway, one of the big the reason I like picking on him is he's such a blowhard about it. And of course, somebody figured it out that in every 6 or 7 weeks, he emits more carbon than the average American does in an entire year. So, there's a little bit of Schadenfreude. That's German if you also live in Lutz, for a word that we really don't have. We need a word. I don't think we should rely on the Germans for forever. But that's taking a little joy at the misery of others. But anyway, I've got lots of questions over the years of whether or not he could ever be forced out. He really can't. He had there was about a summer, maybe 6-month period when IPOs were just so in demand that the people taking them public, the CEOs, CFOs, were making demands that never before happened and haven't really happened since. But his was one of these where if he had one share left, he still had 51% of the voting block. And some of the other things are that even the board can't ask for a judge to displace him. Unsure if it's actually legal, but the way the contract written, he could kill some folks. He could kill a busload of nuns and unborn babies, and he could still, unless he decided to pull the plug on himself, still be a CEO in a jail. Again, SEC might have some things to do with that, but literally the chairman of the board and the rest and everybody involved in it has very little say. I thought that he was probably going to check out a little sooner. Him doubling down on spending $10 billion a year on what is probably a pipe dream is fairly interesting, especially what we know now from a lot of the early devices. Microsoft's the only company to actually make a lot of these headsets and make a profit. But a lot of, they've been selling these things at about $3,500 to the military. And they've got a lot of stuff back for medicals, from headaches, other things. You just can't wear them very long. And especially as the technology is now, they get very hot, so you have to take them off. They can't dissipate enough power. Intel's been working very hard on making chips and making them smaller to do so. But it's still the whole idea that everybody's going to be in some kind of virtual thing. Kind of smacks of bad 90s computer movies where everything just flies around. Apparently those people have never actually used a computer because, you know what? I've never seen like boxes flying around do anything to actually make a mathematical calculation. Yeah, there's just not that much. I think about a lot of those computer movies. Probably the closest thing is saying probably hadn't made a better movie than War Games, really, about computer hacking and computers. Yeah. Some of the other ones. There was one not too long ago. Anyway, I do digress. And, of course, as I say, Metamucil has IBS. Anyway, he's basically doubled down on spending $10 billion a year ad infinitum until he comes up with a solution to all the problems that smack of these headsets. And, of course, he's got a new one out that I think they announced yesterday that was going to be $1,500. You need about $7,000 computer to run it. So last time I looked, even in Lutz, that would be $7,000 plus $1,500, so that'd be $8,500. You know what? Yeah, I got a little money from the lockdown checks, but I didn't get $8,500 on that. As we said yesterday, don't be surprised that right after the Mobileye IPO starts trading to see a little bit of weakness in the market. And that just is when they suck some of the money and cash out. It's not uncommon to see kind of an extra push to make these things get out the door. I didn't think it was going to come out, or at least on Tuesday night I read it wasn't going to come out until Thursday. But, man, did they try to get way in front of that and the bad news that did come out from earnings for Google and Microsoft and the others. Did get it out the door, did get it start trading. I don't know if there's a whole lot there. Well, apparently I've been having an effect because Meta is now under $99. We'll be back in a minute.
Teddy Kegstad has just announced a live webinar coming up for subscribers to his newsletter, The Tiger Forex Report. Wednesday, October 26th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Teddy will be hosting a live 60-minute webinar, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report newsletter. In this 60-minute webinar, Teddy will be discussing a full breakdown of the markets that influence currency pairs, as well as applying those variables to individual currency pairs, how to evaluate trading scenarios for risk versus reward, as well as a live question and answer session. Sign up now and gain instant access to this live webinar coming up, as well as a month subscription to Teddy's Tiger Forex Report, which comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. Don't miss out on this live webinar event with Teddy Kegstad, Wednesday, October 26th. Sign up now for the Tiger Forex Report at the front page of TFNN.com.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors. Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And as we return, let's do a little history, and then we'll get on to a lot of charts already in progress over most of TFNN. On this day in 1980, the ARPANET, the precursor to the modern internet, stops functioning for about 4 hours after the network's routing tables are corrupted by a malfunctioning interface message processor. And of course, C was the dominant language. That's just a C, not SEE. It's just the particular letter. And its follower was a thing called C++. All of these have the exact same problem, and that is that they use a thing called pointers. And if you're one out of, I'm going to say 1 out of 100 programmers, not 1 out of 100 people, 1 out of 100 programmers, you can keep track of where all these pointers are and make sure you don't make a big mistake. But, hey, the other 99%, they're going to make a mistake. It's too tough to actually keep track of all these pointers. So all you got to do is get one wrong, or kind of like a pinball machine, if you're old enough to remember what those are before video games. You used to be able to bump them just a little. If you bumped them too much, they would tilt and your quarter was gone. But you could bump them just a little. And the idea behind all the hacking and then everything that's come since is maybe you can get one of these things, just kind of bump it enough so the whole thing doesn't crash. But you can get one of these pointers to point to maybe another area, and you get kind of a mini crash, and then you can get control of the entire system. The problem is that this stuff has been around forever. And it's very expensive to go back and rewrite a ton of this stuff. And it's all in this C stuff. And there's always little problems. Microsoft says that 75% of all the upgrades that you see all the time that they sent your way, not the upgrades, but just the fixes, are because of C or C++ pointers. There's new languages like Rust, R-U-S-T, if you're in Lutz, that take care of this by kind of shepherding your pointers. And I'm not going to get deep in the weeds with what pointers are, but if you have like a list of names, you just kind of go to the first name, and you have kind of the address in memory in it. It's kind of like an address for a house, and you know it's on that street. You go from house to house to house, but you don't have the addresses of all of them. You have the first address, and then you just say, I want to add 1 to that address, and then you get to the next memory location. So what happens when you just kind of slip a cog, and if you know about engines, been around ever, you've thrown a timing chain, kind of the exact same thing, you're gonna live in a world of hurt. And of course, most of the hacking attempts are to try to get that to do something like that without going all the way of blowing things up. Because once you get kind of a mini crash, you can especially weasel your way into owning the rights of the super user. Again, I'm going to reference really bad computer movies like Tron. But what can you say? Anyway, we've known about these problems now for 40 years. Just now we're really starting to develop languages that will not, that are worth maybe 3/4 or more of all the errors and problems we have with security. On this day in 1980, we found out just what lurks beneath a lot of these issues with networks. 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always put a request in the den. And what do we have here? Let's update this. We were off 3/10 as we open the show. And what do we have now? Come on. Update. Give. Almost. Okay. Just a hair more. Let's go back to this and let's get to some charts. And the market already in progress over most of TFNN. The big mover intraday. I just happened to see this, and I remember we had a caller probably 2 months ago asking if this was ever going to get any better. I don't remember exactly where she called in, but this was a company that had big problems. They had a little bit of good news today and are run the shorts, but if you're still in it, God, I hope you got out of it today on the spike. I can't remember who she was, but I do digress. Okay. Wow. That's I didn't know that there was that emoji in the den. I'm gonna have to do something about that one. Okay. Other things going on. Let's go through stocks that are moving real quick. Try to go through as many of them. Little gap up on Ambev. Apparently selling cereal malt beverages into the apocalypse, a coming apocalypse, if we're not halfway there already. Was nice. A BEV. I'm pretty sure this is it. What's this thing doing at $2.90? Can this not be the one? The same one I'm thinking about? Maybe I haven't looked at it forever. Arch Capital Group has nothing to do with Arch, the guy we know, breaking through the previous high of $50.73 today on earnings with decent volume. So some of those financials are finally coming alive. On the downside, the people selling braces broke through the lows out here today and are doing it in volume. On Align Technologies, he said ALG. Ameren, of course, the big electric, just going sideways. Don't see a lot in that one. ARR, Armor Residential, coming up against resistance. Boeing, or I'm not going, after the huge day yesterday. Kind of an inside day. but a little bit better. Maybe a little bit too much yesterday on that. Baxter International pushing the lows today. Looks like it's easily going to break through and bust those lows. It's already got twice the volume of the last major low on September 27th. Baxter, isn't that like a 60s name? You don't get those names anymore. I haven't met a Baxter in a long time. Ted Baxter. Kind of remember him. Develops and provides a portfolio of healthcare products worldwide. Company offers basically dentistry, dialysis therapies, intravenous therapies, infusion pumps. You got to think that business was pretty good. I have to see why these guys are doing bad. But
if you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, JDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, Butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back here, couldn't find it. I know I got the Ron Burgundy thing out here that escalated quickly, and I found it, but I can't find a button for it. But we'll find it eventually. 877-927-6648. Email me at path@tfnn.com. And we're looking at stocks. Of course, BioMarin down fairly significantly. The biotech. Well, I'm glad they're registered shares instead of unregistered shares. BMRN. Let's see what else we have here. BSR. I said BSBR. Banco Santander, of course, south of the border. That's actually staying in the trading range. I don't see much in that. BTU, of course, Peabody Energy, just in the trading range, lower high, higher lows, going sideways out here. Budweiser, a little gap higher out here in Anheuser-Busch territory. Is this the other part of that company? I haven't spent a lot of time looking at it. I remember Sam ran a lot of people out on its earnings call on cereal malts beverages. It's coming back into the trading range now. Caught a lot of people sleeping. Caterpillar, of course, as we talked before, everybody's diving into the Dow for safekeeping. Lots of volume. 217.13 high. Looks to me like it's getting ready to run to the 229.21 high of June 8th. Nice W formation kind of coming here. Gap. Okay. CBRE. Okay. CBRE Group. I don't see much going on in that one. Checkpoint. Big day in this one. Big candle, big volume. May want a little bit more volume. It's blowing through this gap. It's really kind of already been filled back from the 1st of August. That gap down had 2.5 million shares. You got 1 6/10. Yeah. So you're probably doing okay, but probably some decent resistance. Probably going to go tag, at least test the July 22nd high in this and checkpoint. That's CHKP for your home gamers. That only had 600,000 shares, so my guess is you're going to at least test that one, if not go break through it. That looks fairly good. CNX Resources, a little gap down. Lots of volume in that one. Had a fairly decent pattern, but disappointing on the earnings. Crestpoint Energy Corporation testing the previous high. Looks like that volume is going to be more than the volume on August 29th. That was $8.28. With 14 million shares, you got 13 already. CX. This is the cement company. Remember when this took off? I think this was right after the, wasn't this right after like 2010 or something? And there was going to be supposedly all these shovel-ready jobs that never really came off. But man, did this cement company take off like a rocket. Let's go back and look at this one. Because this thing was sky high at one time. Let's go back in 8 years. It's been a long time, maybe even longer. Well, that's 10 years. Maybe it is longer than that. So let's see here. CYH, Community Health Systems. Nice day on this. Looks like it may have broken the lows out here. And, of course, you could get back to $4.25, maybe $4.50 off these lows, and that would still probably just be a bounce and a downtrend, but a fairly significant bounce. Dana, a nice gap here. No associated volume. Back into the previous high of the 12th of September. They had 1.5 million shares. You already have 1.7, so that looks pretty good. Deutsche Bank, back into its gap again. A lot of this downside was predicated on problems in Europe, but they continue to throw money at the problem, which is always that way.
Are you suggesting we throw money at the problem?
Precisely.
And that's what they're doing over in Europe. Deutsche Bank, of course, I bring this up from time to time, but probably the most interesting thing I learned when I started going over there for business is the Germans own 80% of everything. And that means the UK, all of Europe, everything. Most people don't know. The English decided to kind of lay down and take it easy after the war. The Germans were all starving. And they decided to get on the stick and get back into engineering instead of making bombs and planes to bomb people. Started working on things like cars and other things. But really kind of when you get over there, really get deep in it, Germany's kind of the Mississippi of Europe. It's got all those great rivers where they can move lots of big stuff like steel and all that other stuff. They use that industrial might to lever themselves into owning all of Europe except Russia. EDU, big bump yesterday, of course. Isn't this the last one in these pay for educational companies that just seem to come and go and take lots of people's money and not give much back? That's generally what I hear about these. A new Oriental education. I think the only difference is they do this in China and not here in the United States. But what can you say? Flex. We're going to just keep going through as many as these as we can. Flex, F-L-E-X, for the dyslexic. Got more volume, but not holding the previous high, the September 12th high. That was $19.63 with 5.5 million. You got 6 million, but you're not holding that high. Form, F-O-R-M, Form Factor. We're going to, I guess we still have an opportunity to give Metamucil the old horrible horn, but I'm going to give these guys at least an honorary blowout of the previous lows. And on these folks, they manufacture and sell probe cards. Ooh. Probably a big hit with aliens. Analytical probes, probe stations, meteorology systems, thermal systems, and cryogenic systems to the semiconductor companies and scientific institutions, he said, if I could talk today. But a lot of probe cards, got to think that they're owned by aliens. Wow. That's it. That's a very ugly chart there. FTI. I'm being somewhat tongue-in-cheek. Wafer probe cards for testing DRAM. A lot of other probes. But we all know. 877-927-6648.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
And as we continue on with the Dow Parade, Honeywell. Nice day out here. Good to have a little more volume. Maybe you get that before the end of the day. Going back to a gap down that had a lot of volume back on the 26th of August. Did that with 2.8 million shares. Pretty much tied that, but you're not holding that gap or that high. Yeah, I think a lot of people continue to be short. As we give the warning so many times, even in a down market, the market's probably a little higher 3/4 of the time, no matter what. It just goes down a great deal more during that other quarter of the time. So, it's certainly you want to be short, but you certainly want to cover. What else do we have? Kentucky Fried Chicken, KHC. Oh, Kraft Heinz. You know I can confuse the two. Back up to the previous high. That high was on August 11th with 6.25 million shares at 38.93. You're still, 20 cents shy of that. Volume looks good, though, so you're probably going to test that tomorrow. Lending Club. Man, remember when this thing was the hotness, the new hotness? Everybody was going to pile in on this. Wish the energy on the way back was a little lighter. You certainly gapped down below the previous low of July 5th. That was $11.17 with 2.25 million shares. You already have over 3 million shares and well below it. As they say in Wyckoff terms, you broke through ice. Love, well, certainly a lot alike. Southwest Airlines, a little gap higher today. Volume's okay. Yeah, I don't really see much in that. McDonald's, Mickey D's, a nice gap higher. This was one of the few that I thought had something in it. And you know what? You did tag and go over the previous high by about 50 cents, 49 cents, something like that. You're doing that on more volume. Doesn't look like you're going to hold the high, but this is certainly not one I would bet against in a market that is probably still bearish. And we're just in that 3/4 of a time where we're going up a little bit more than we're going down. To Medical Properties Trust. This is kind of interesting. Continue to bounce around. Still has a high volume low on October 21st at $9.90. Got to think it's going to go back and retest that as soon as our smiles turn to frowns when the market decides that it's ready for the next leg down. Annaly Capital Management. This is one of Jim Cramer's absolute. You had to own it several years ago. And
bring me the head of the false prophet, Jim Cramer.
Well, yeah, chart kind of says it all. June 9th of 2021, 31.91. And it's back up on half the volume of the October 4th high. I don't think this one's going to probably stand the test of time. Nova, a PBS show that's been on or off forever. Can't remember seeing it for a long time. Don't see much in this one. Now, I know we had a couple people either call or email me about this one on earnings. Nice pop on this one. Back up to the previous high of, let's go back here to do this one. Previous high of 433.39. That's the October 6th high. And that was 433.39. Didn't quite get there today. 1 3/4 million shares. You did get into it today with 4 million shares. So you may have a little bit of a buying climax here, but that does look good. You probably want to buy that on the retrace if it doesn't, if the whole market doesn't see the wheels fall off the wagon. Let me check here. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Oceaneering International. This is one that is kind of interesting. Of course, this is underwater exploration. It's either heaven or hell. And generally, you're waiting for the next tidal wave to wipe these kind of companies out. I generally stay away from anything on the ocean when it comes to making money. Will they make money occasionally? Yes. Will a hurricane or a typhoon come and wipe them out one day? Also, yes. You just never know what it is. But, of course, they've gotten a little bit better business model here. It's just something I shy away from. Like land wars in Asia. Maybe it looks like you're winning for a little while. But, hey, the ocean is a cruel mistress. And the sea shall give up its dead. Anyway, nice, big, huge move here today in the company that is actually local to Tampa. OLN, nice pop for Olin. Looks like it's going to go back up to 55-ish on that. OMF, not the OMF we know. This is One Main Holdings. Nice pop on this on some volume. 38.72 is the next high. OPCH, which is Option Healthcare. Bad day at BlackRock for these guys. The good part is it's down to a fairly big gap higher that had 3.1 million shares, and it's got just 2 so far with about an hour and 10 minutes left in the day. OSKT, Overstock.com, is a bit overstocked. They're ready for a cleanup on aisle 3. Big, wide-ranging candle on the lower side today. I didn't look at Bitcoin quite yet. Where's that? Off $146. Still above $20,000, $20,593. But I wonder when it will break its reliance on Bitcoin to move things. Otis Worldwide. We're not talking about the drunks I refer to very often at Mayberry. We're talking about the guys that we all know from making elevators and what are those other things that just become stairs when they're broken? What are those? Escalators. They never really break. When they break, they just become stairs. Anyway, Otis is that. Yeah, escalators. Nice pop higher and certainly out and through this October 5th high to see Impinj. Don't know what this company does. I'm going to have to find out. We've got about 30 seconds left. But a huge day and a huge breakout. Let's go back a little farther and take a look at this thing. Well, it is. Whatever these guys are, I want some of it. Operates cloud connectivity programs in the Americas, Asia, Pacific, Middle East. I'm going to have to find more about them. A company's platform provides endpoint, IC, administrator radios, a chip. Yeah, more about them. Solid breakout. PI is the symbol. RFID tag. Okay.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years, with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And as we get ready to wrap up another show, we got Tom O'Brien coming up in a few minutes to wrap up the day. And, of course, we're going to get into earnings. But I still suspect we're going to get a little bit of a pullback. Normally, you get something about 50 points, maybe 75 points in the S&P cash just to wash everybody out. Kind of like all the snob, wine-tasting snobs you see that have the little cracker or something. To cleanse their palate. Of course, this is just to wash out as many suckers right before it goes higher and generally squeeze them higher. So we are thinking of about a quick move. Now, maybe that happens tomorrow morning after either economy numbers or a little bit more of earnings. Of course, after the bell tonight, we've got Apple and Amazon. Hard to think Amazon's actually going to do that much with so much of its income coming from web services, and all the web services companies have pretty much been rather bleak. 105.35 is the support level for Amazon. I would not be surprised unless they come up with some kind of magic secret sauce that they stole from McDonald's, apparently, for their fish sandwich. They would need, they're going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat. They've done it before. But we've got a new CEO. I think he wants to continue to kind of clean stuff up a bit. And this would be a good time to continue throwing in and cleaning up all the skeletons in that closet that were left behind by the previous CEO that we all know, but will not talk about. His name cannot be spoken. Intel also after the bell. And let's see what else we have. Gilead Science after the bell also. But really, Apple, Amazon, Intel, big members of of tech. So get ready for it. You know it's coming. So when you can, not when you have to. I think we're probably going to wash out some more, and everybody will pile back in some of the other stocks in the S&P. See you tomorrow. So when you can, not when you have to.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to